Hello, my friends. Hello, it's Matthew Street. Welcome to my channel. As always, I truly appreciate you being here. And folks, so I get up yesterday morning with a lot of excitement. It was November 22nd, Friday, and I knew it was the day of the big Beatles box set release and the 6 individual album release of the U.S. Capitol albums. And I was very excited about. Now, folks, you know I did not order the big box, for various reasons. You can go back and see my videos for my reasons why I didn't do that. But silly me, I pre-ordered the Target exclusive opaque blue Meet the Beatles. I did do that. I did order this, but I was a dummy. I should have done with what other people did out there. I should have just gone to Target when it opened yesterday morning and it was right on the shelf. I could have had it right now and been showing it to you. But instead, I'll pre-order. I don't want to get blocked out. They might sell out. Silly me. And I still haven't gotten mine yet. While other people have been showing theirs. Hey, look, here's my blue vinyl. Meet the Beat, whatever. The non-luck of Matthew Street, right? But anyway, folks, so the opaque blue Meet the Beatles came out, Target exclusive yesterday. I'm looking forward to getting mine. And maybe I'll show it to you when I do get it. But here is a CD version anyway of what we're getting. Now, big day because like I said, these albums, along with 4 others, and then if you get the box set, you get the Beatles story, are coming out as of yesterday, folks, and they are here. And you can go get them individually with liner notes and great cool stuff and replicating the covers and all that good stuff. Well, I said, well, I don't have all these things yet, so I'm going to go to Spotify because I bet they posted all these great albums, U.S. versions, the Dave Dexterized versions. They're all going to be up on streaming services, right? That's what I figured. I said, I'm going to go and I want to listen to some of them. I'm going to have some fun today. While, I'm driving around, I want to listen. So I go over to Spotify to search for them, and lo and behold, for whatever reason, folks, you tell me why they're not there. The regular old UK albums are there, but none of the U.S. mixes are up from the new mixes that just came out yesterday. They're not there. They're not on the streaming services. However, there's a new digital streaming Beatles album up on Spotify. It's also on Apple Music and on whatever Tidal or whatever those other. I have Spotify. There's a new Beatles album up streaming. It's called The Beatles 64, music from the Disney Plus soundtrack, or documentary, I should say. And I was like, what's this? Oh my goodness. This is going to be flipping amazing. They're going to have the Wingnut, Peter Jackson remixes of maybe some Washington Coliseum cuts, maybe the Ed Sullivan cuts. They'll have a couple of Sullivan cuts to tease us with. What else? What else could be there? Folks, a big bummer and disappointment when I start to finally listen and look at what the nuts and bolts of this streaming digital only album called Beatles 64, music from the documentary, is. It's typical Apple. They can never do things right. They can never surprise us and do something cool. How cool would it have been not to give us every piece of music, but to have like a list of songs, a digital album with actual music from the documentary, like live stuff from Washington Coliseum, like Ed Sullivan stuff from that first visit. Why not? They did do something cool. They did intersperse the regular 2023 remixes of the Beatles tracks with a few smattering of 2009 remastered Beatles tracks, mixed in with some stuff by, like you get the original single of Money by Barrett Strong, who wrote Money. You get some Smokey Robinson and the Miracles tracks, like Smokey doing Yesterday on the Ed Sullivan Show, and a great Miracles track that I've always loved, I've Been Good to You, is on here. You get Chuck Berry's version of Roll Over Beethoven. You get Little Richard doing Long Tall Sally, just those few tracks, interspersed with stuff like She Loves You, Twist and Shout, Roll Over Beethoven, Please Please Me, I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles, the 2023 remixes from last year, and you get like Till There Was You, Long Tall Sally, and Baby It's You from the 2009 remasters. So it's old hat in a sense, folks. It's like they could have made this so much better. Why not take those original you know, the Chuck Berry, the Little Richard track, the couple of Miracles tracks, the Smokey Robinson track, the Barrett Strong track, intersperse those with the Washington Coliseum stuff and the Ed Sullivan stuff. Now, that would have been a hell of an album. And another big disappointment is, okay, yeah, so they had Little Richard, like, you know, the great Little Richard doing Long Tall Sally. They had the Miracles. They had the one Barrett Strong track. But I'm getting a little suspicious about this documentary. Is this going to be comprehensive? If we're going to have Little Richard in there, we're going to have Chuck Berry in there, we're going to have the Miracles in there as influences on the Beatles. I hope they're going to flesh this out with the Beatles' other influences, because what about these guys? If you're going to put a digital album together of artists that influenced the Beatles, shouldn't there be an Everly Brothers track on that digital album? What about this guy, Ray Charles? All right? Beatles loved Ray Charles. They did covers of Ray Charles. Why isn't he on the digital album? Why isn't this guy on this digital-only album on Spotify and Apple and whatnot? Right? I know. It's titled Music from the Disney Plus documentary. But if you're going to have music from The Miracles, Chuck Berry, and Little Richard on there, shouldn't you have Ray Charles? Shouldn't you have Carl Perkins? Shouldn't you have a Bill Haley and the Comets track on this documentary? Or at least on the digital album? Hank Williams, all right? Big influence on the Beatles, Fats Domino. Why isn't he in this documentary-only Disney Plus? He should be on there. He should be on the digital-only album. This guy should be on there, Roy Orbison. He should definitely be on there. Western, country western, rock and roll, Texas rock, Buddy Holly and the Crickets. He should be on there. And King of all kings, Elvis. Yeah, he played a big part in the Beatles Foundation. He should be on the digital-only album on Spotify, whatever. He's not. So I'm a little dismayed at this, folks, because I'm like, why are not these other artists on there? What about Buck Owens? Country western, anybody? Big influence on the Beatles? So what I'm saying is I love the fact they put, like I said, the Miracles, the Barrett Strong song, Chuck Berry, and one Little Richard song on this digital-only streaming album. But what about all these other people, folks? What about them? I mean, come on. I'm still positive about next Friday and this documentary with Peter Jackson doing the sound and the cleaned up imagery and all that. I'm really excited about that still, but I'm getting a little bit nervous about what the narrative is going to be of this thing. Because if you're going to include the influences of the Beatles in this documentary and what American music influenced them before they came to America and then broke their sound to the world, you've got to include everybody here. You've got to include Buddy. You've got to include Roy. You've got to include Fats, all right? Hank Williams, Bill Haley, Carl Perkins. The great Ray Charles has to be on there, folks, okay? And the Everlys. They have to be on there too. All right, so let's hope they are. Let's hope this is just an anomaly or something on this digital-only album. All right, I get nervous about these kind of things, folks, because I want the story told right and correct. So, folks, I will be back. I will show you when I get my blue vinyl of Meet the Beatles, and I will certainly be doing a comprehensive review of this documentary. You can count on it from Matthew Street. I'll be taking notes, baby, next Friday, and I will report back to you with my honest and true assessment of how well I think Scorsese and this other guy who directed it, I forget his name now, sorry. I will come back and I will give you an honest assessment of it. So, folks, fingers crossed. I wasn't too pleased with the laziness of this digital streaming-only album up on the streaming services. See what you think. And I'll be back very soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.